What's going on, everybody? Stars 10P Aviation here, and welcome to a brand new airport on the channel. This is the first update for Boston Southern International Airport, and I will be doing many of these updates. They're pretty easy to put together here. And this is the first update. So Boston Southern is located south of Boston, as the name implies, and it has a lot of interesting features. We have a GoJet operating maintenance hangar here. We have two different little charter gates over here, and one of the big popular sites around here, we have the Aircraft Museum with an MD-11 over there. We'll talk about that in a bit. Our FBO, two concourses, and some cargo gates right there. So without further ado, let's get straight into this brand new airport. Coming in today from the flight in from Chicago O'Hare International Airport in Illinois. This aircraft is heading over to its gate and waiting on one aircraft to push back, which we will see in a bit. It's on the round trip to Chicago, so we will be heading back out to Chicago on the 3 times daily flight. One of those services is with the A321, and the rest are on the 737 family aircraft. Chicago is one of the more popular routes from United, hence why they use their larger aircraft here. Seems a little counterintuitive to do it this way, but lined up for the runway here, we have this United Express CRJ-700, operated by GoJet Airlines. This aircraft is currently heading on the flight out to Washington Dulles. Flights to Newark and Dulles do use these small aircraft because they are very high frequency connections. Some larger aircraft like the E-175 are used, but these aircraft are much more efficient for flights like this, the CRJ-700/550. So anyways, this aircraft is heading out to Washington Dulles and previously did arrive in from Dulles as well. The crew is currently deplaning here, as this FedEx Express Boeing 757-200 freighter has just arrived in from Memphis, Tennessee, and will be heading back out to Memphis after they get a new crew and refuel the aircraft and get some more cargo on there. Memphis is FedEx's only route here, with the mainline FedEx aircraft, of course, but they are going to start operating some more services here when a dedicated cargo terminal is built. Parked right next to that here, we have this little FedEx feeder Cessna 208 Caravan. It's currently on the flight out to Bangor, Maine, and will be heading out to Bangor, Maine, and previously arrived in from Albany, New York. Those are the only 2 FedEx feeder routes served with the Caravan here. I am thinking they are going to get some more routes, but for now, those are the only 2 routes served by them. Loading on some cargo right now, we have this UPS Boeing 757-200 freighter. This aircraft is currently heading out to Anchorage, Alaska after a previous flight in from Louisville, Kentucky. The Anchorage flight, there's a reason why FedEx doesn't do a flight to Anchorage, and that's because UPS is already doing it, and this is a flight to supplement their Alaska operations over to Asia, and there was pretty high demand for cargo for the Boston area, so they decided to add this 757 route. Maybe one day we'll be seeing a 767-300 on that cargo route. I think that'd be pretty cool to see. Starting us off here at the regional passenger gates, we have this Contour Airlines Embraer 145 on the flight out to Bangor, Maine. This is an essential air service route from the airport, and the only one here. Contour took the little route up and has been serving it for quite a while now with their Embraer 145s. So anyways, it's heading out to Bangor on a once daily service and previously came in last night from the Bangor flight. Here we have a Delta Connection Bombardier CRJ-900. This aircraft is currently heading out to Detroit Wayne Field. They use a smaller aircraft for this route as it's less demand. CRJ-900s are pretty common on Detroit flights around the United States though. Anyhow, this aircraft is heading out to Detroit and had a previous round in from New York JFK. And concluding this concourse out here, we have this American Eagle CRJ-200 operated by Air Wisconsin in the Air Wisconsin House colors. This aircraft is currently heading out to New York LaGuardia. They use the CRJ-200 on this route for a bit less demand than JFK, but still pretty high frequencies. And this aircraft had previously arrived in from LaGuardia and will be heading back out to LaGuardia in a few minutes. With the APU connected and the aircraft about to leave here from its gate, the only ground boarding jetway here, we have this United Express Bombardier CRJ-550 operated by GoJet. This aircraft is currently on the flight out to New York, Newark, after a previous arrival in from Newark. A lot of planes are doing the Newark flight. Just like Washington Dulles, it's a very short distance but high frequency and high demand route, so they do use the CRJs on. Anyhow, this aircraft is heading out to Washington Dulles. Sorry about that. I accidentally dropped my phone, which messed up the whole airport, so I had to spend a couple minutes fixing it up there. Sorry about that. Anyhow, let's move on to the next aircraft. Starting us off here at the main level jet bridges, we have this United Airlines Boeing 737-700. This aircraft is currently making the flight out to San Francisco, California. It's a once daily service on the 700, as it's not the biggest demand route, but also a very necessary one to connect to the West Coast. So this aircraft is heading out to San Francisco right now after a previous arrival in last night from San Francisco. Moving on here, currently refueling and boarding some passengers, we have this Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800. This aircraft is currently on the flight out to Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Georgia and will be heading out, or came in previously from Atlanta, sorry about that folks. And the 737 is the aircraft of choice for the Atlanta service, though I'd imagine one day they might upgrade that to a 757, which would be pretty cool to see out of the airport. So the 737 is on the flight out to Atlanta. Parked right next to it, we have this American Airlines Airbus A320. This aircraft is currently going out to Charlotte, North Carolina after a previous flight in from Dallas-Fort Worth in Texas. Two pretty high-frequency American hub routes there. Dallas gets twice daily service and Charlotte gets 3 times daily, with one being on mainline and the other 2 on the E175. Anyhow, this aircraft is heading out to Charlotte after it loads on baggage and passengers. Pushing back to make room for another aircraft, we have this JetBlue Airlines Airbus A321neo. It's currently pushing back for the flight out to Orlando Sanford International Airport. One of 2 routes that they serve out of the airport. They serve both Orlando and they also have a flight over to Tampa as well. 2 Florida destinations, though Tampa is only a seasonal route out of the airport. Anyhow, this A321neo is heading out to Orlando right now. On to another even more interesting aircraft. We have the Icelandair Boeing 737 MAX 8. It's currently loading on catering and baggage for the flight out to Reykjavik International Airport. Unfortunately, Play Airlines has just stopped their service to this airport. They used to serve the airport, but they recently have concluded all flights and unfortunately gone out of business. So currently Icelandair does hold the only international carrier position at the airport right now. Air Canada has confirmed that we'll be starting flights though next month to Boston. So we will be seeing some aircraft from Air Canada, I believe Air Canada Express probably, on flights out of this gate. Parked next to it here, we have this Delta Airlines Airbus A320 on the flight out to Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport in Minnesota. Another pretty popular flight here. Delta uses the A320 on MSP service, but also uses it on the route that it previously came in from, which is down to Salt Lake City in Utah. Delta has flights to virtually all of its hubs except for Los Angeles here, though I imagine LAX service will be coming pretty shortly. Delta does Salt Lake City turns and Seattle turns with its A320s alongside MSP. So it's heading out to Minneapolis and came in from Salt Lake City previously. Here we have this United Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8 in the Being United Special Color Scheme. This aircraft is currently heading on the flight out to Denver, Colorado, a very big United hub worthy of larger United aircraft. This aircraft's heading out to Denver, Colorado on a round trip, so it previously came in from Denver and will be heading out to Denver. Moving on to our FBO light aircraft operations here, we have this privately owned, ignore the FedEx color, Cessna Caravan. This aircraft is currently heading on the flight to Wilmington, Delaware, after a previously time in a parked position at its little hangar here. Parked next to it, we have another privately owned Cessna 208 Caravan. It's parked here right now, but will be making a flight all the way over to Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. No idea why this aircraft's heading to Philadelphia, but it is, and it is an aircraft based out of this hangar right here. Moving over to the FBO, we have this privately owned Saab 340, ignore the WestJet colors. This aircraft is currently on a flight all the way down to, it's heading all the way down to Raleigh in North Carolina on a direct flight. It's quite a long flight for the Saab 340, but it can do it. And has previously been parked here for around a day. Ignore the SkyWest colors here, but we have a privately owned CRJ-200. This aircraft is making the flight all the way down to Tampa, Florida, and had previously arrived in on a flight from Dallas, Texas. This aircraft is currently making the flight out to Tampa for, I believe, kind of a charter-ish kind of thing for some, probably some very, 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 very well-set people if they're taking a CRJ-200 private aircraft instead of like a Cessna 208 like some of the other flights back there. But anyhow, this aircraft's heading out to Tampa. And here we are, the Big Bird, parked here at our little FBO jetway gate. Here we have a United Airlines Boeing 767-300. This aircraft is currently on a charter in from Seattle North International Airport in Washington, which is one of my other more flagship model airports. And in fact, that airport's actually on the same base and using the same general layout that this airport uses, albeit with a lot of other concourses and a lot of other international traffic. I didn't really have a place to put this airport, so I decided I'd just use the same kind of general concourse layout that our C concourse uses at Seattle North. Anyways, this aircraft is on a sports charter. I don't know what team. Maybe you guys can come up with a team. Maybe the Seattle Seahawks, how about that, are coming down over to Boston to play the New England Patriots. Were those two teams realistically going against each other? I don't know anything about football. I'm not a big football fan, so tell me in the comments if that's a realistic matchup. Anyhow, this aircraft had previously arrived in from Seattle and will be heading back out to Seattle on the charter in around a few hours once whatever sort of football game is over. Moving on here to the star of the show, we have GoJet's little maintenance hangar here that can store 2 CRJ aircraft. This airport, Boston Southern, is a maintenance base for GoJet, and a lot of aircraft that fly here that are the United regional jets are actually based here full-time. Maybe one day this airport will reach like a focus city status with United. That'd be pretty cool to see, so you will be seeing United Express CRJ 550s coming through here. Anyhow, the first aircraft pushing back here is this GoJet CRJ 550. It's currently pushing back to head to its gate, which is the gate that the Newark CRJ 550 earlier in the video was headed to. It's currently pushing back out for a Washington Dulles round. And parked here temporarily, we have another GoJet CRJ 550, previously arrived in from New York, Newark, and will be parked here for a couple days for some maintenance. Concluding off this little section of the airport, we have a World Atlantic Charter McDonnell Douglas MD-83. This aircraft is bound for Miami after a previous flight in from also Miami. Miami charters are pretty common because it's getting to that time of the year where the weather's getting a bit colder up here, and a lot of people are heading down for either kind of like big old package vacations down to Florida. Just beyond the fence here, we have a large aircraft museum, which is the Boston Southern Aircraft Museum. It has a 737-200, which is vary in the back there, a 757-200, a 707, and an MD-11, which is the, not MD-11, sorry, an MD-10, which is the flagship display of the airport museum here. It's really nice to see a museum. The rumor is one day they might even get a 747 displayed here, which would be really cool to see in the background of these videos. And the final aircraft of today's airport update is this taxiing Frontier Airlines Airbus A319. It's taxiing actually to its gate after a previous flight in from Las Vegas, Nevada. A pretty long flight for an A319. They might get an A320neo or A321neo on this route soon. This aircraft will be heading to its gate and then heading on a flight to Denver, Colorado. Hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. We're currently at 330 subscribers, and I really hope we can get to a bit of a higher number, like 500 in the future or by the end of the year. It's a pretty unrealistic goal, but I really hope I can achieve the goal by the end of the year. Thank you all for watching. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments, and I will be making more model airport content here pretty soon. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.